Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, then let's get started, man. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Lone Wolf Podcast. I'm your host, Wolfson, and today we got a special guest in the building all the way from South Florida, an amazing, talented DJ that's killing it right now in the scene, the one and only Lucid Luna. Let's go.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Before we get started, guys, I do want to apologize for the new viewership of the recording. Something was happening with the recording on the original program that I was using. So we're right now doing this little Zoom way session around it. So don't worry, we're still gonna record it and we're still gonna kick it with awesome stuff. All right, guys. So let's get things started. First things first, how are you doing?
Good. I just got back from visiting my friend in Colorado. So just kind of like adjusting back to life here and work and everything.
I was gonna actually say to you, it's like, how was Colorado overall?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I spent a few months there back in 2012. I was doing an internship in advertising, and that's kind of like where, I don't know, I started getting like really into bass music and exploring that. Like I was in Boulder, but like Denver, as you know, is like a big hub for bass music. So it was pretty cool.
No, definitely. If it's not LA, it's definitely Denver. You know,
Yeah.
those bass capitals out there. You know, and if it's not Denver, it's definitely Canada, because a lot of the biggest producers come from Canada.
Dude, so many. Like Zed's Dead, they're Canadian.
Yeah, Ed's is one of them. My boy Infinite, shout out to him. You know, he's from Canada. For the longest time, I never knew he was from Canada. It was like, wow.
You thought he was just American?
Like every other white boy, you know, it was like,
yeah.
he's into us. Like, yeah, he's American. He got this. Who would have figured? But let me ask you this, because I had the impression that you're into DJing house music, but you're also more into bass as well.
Yeah. So I started off with bass. I mean, dubstep is my one true love. But yeah, I've just been exploring with house and like trance and breaks a little bit, you know, a little higher BPM range. I do a lot of drum and bass too. I just kind of like do whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I don't really want to like restrict myself to just like one subgenre.
That's actually pretty interesting, because like a lot of people are actually taking that sort of route with I'm not classifying myself as a dubstep guy. No, I can actually do whatever I want, and this is how I do it. But it all depends on the image, you know? So like in your image, you just basically all around. There's nothing that actually defines what you truly are, or you just say, I'm just EDM all around.
Well, I wouldn't say EDM specifically, because like, I don't know, I don't really mess with like, I don't know, like hardstyle and gabber and stuff like that. But like, I guess I'm just going with what I'm feeling in the moment and just like flowing with it and exploring. What I try to do with a lot of my mixes is like do a lot of like double dropping and blending. So that's like the main Lucid Luna thing, I would say, is like the flow and like keeping it smooth. That's like really important to me.
And where did that whole come up with you? Like, what actually prompted you to say, like, you know, I just feel like I want to do these sort of stuff, or do what actually makes me feel, and just like, this is how the mood is right now, and this is what Lucid Luna is all about.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess just going with it, you know, like some days I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know what? I feel like mixing liquid drum and bass today, and I'll just like go with that. And then some days I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling progressive trance now. So it's just kind of like whatever I'm feeling in the moment. That's what I try to put out with my mixes. And then also depending on like what kind of shows I have coming up. Like I've been playing these brunches, and that's like primarily house. And the last one that I played, I did like specifically disco house, because I kind of like the disco 70s kind of vibe, but with like house beats. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I even threw in like a Sade song, so that was cool. Like I love just like playing around with like different things.
Wow. And but you're originally here from South Florida?
Yeah, I'm originally from Miami.
Oh, okay. Dope. So
yeah. What about you?
Oh, I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends.
hey, shout out to my Boricuas. You know it. No, I moved here like I think 8 years ago. I believe
Oh,
around
wow.
this
Okay.
time 8 years ago. Yeah, I was just finishing up college, and then I moved here to get to start my career as an audio engineer,
Oh, cool.
and that's where I went to school for SAE. That's the school
For
of audio
sound engineering.
Yeah,
Hmm.
sound engineering, and that's where I met
Cool.
my one of my homies from the industry, Nitty Gritty. And
Oh, dude, I love Nitty Gritty.
yeah, Nitty.
So I love that. Like, I remember seeing him at like the EDC, like Corona side stage, like so many years ago. And like then I saw him like as part of Side Piece at like a way larger stake, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, so cool.
Yeah, no, so what's cool about him, is that everybody's seen him as like Nitty's like, oh, I remember when Nitty was in that stage, in the Corona stage, where he's
Yeah, because he's like from down here too, right?
yes and no. So he's very funny because he was born in Pennsylvania. He was raised in Haiti because his parents were missionaries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then so he was raised in there for a bit, moved back to Penn, and then right after high school, he moved down here to South Florida to start his music career. And he started as a band, and from a band, he started making his own music as Ricky Mears, and that's when I met him at school.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you guys went to school together?
Yeah, no, we graduated together at the same class.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I came about and I was like, fucking hey, there's nobody in this fucking school that listens to EDM that can give me a proper feedback, because everybody listens to trap and hip hop and rap and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm the only solo player in all this. And then he was just chilling in the lounge, listening to his computer. And when he heard me rant, it's like, I do EDM. I'm like, you and me are gonna be best friends.
That's awesome.
Come into the booth. I need your help. And yeah, since then it's been a wonderful friendship with him, and I've seen him grow since school days. And it was like little by little, I see the potential from him, and I was like, dude, you're gonna be fucking bigger than Skrillex one day.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I say that, and I still believe it. I mean, he's already making music for Diplo, so he's already at that level, and he's making dope tracks, and then he's doing his side piece project and whatnot. I'm like, right, bro, you're already there. Yeah, you're already there, and
hell yeah.
I admire him a lot because I've seen his struggles a lot. Like I've seen him at his lowest moments and shut down in his studio just to craft his stuff, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's definitely a beautiful thing, and I couldn't be any prouder that was part of his life and still am. But I mean, like in his progress when he started out.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Fun fact about him and me,
That's awesome that you were there like since the beginning. That's really cool.
No, I mean, I taught him how to DJ, and then he became way better DJ than me. It's like, well, the student became the master. I mean,
hey, that happens sometimes,
hey, like, go for it, man. I'm happy. Like, yeah, whatever it takes to be better than me, go for it. And I encourage it a lot because he and I, we compete a lot. So when he and I are DJing back to back, we feel each other out.
Yeah.
And then we started going like, oh, I dropped this. What are you gonna do? He's like, oh, okay. I got you on this. I got you. And then we just go back and back at it. It's a fun thing,
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And yeah, since then I've been stuck here in Florida. Like Florida became my new home, and I absolutely love it, But and let me tell you, I did start as a house producer.
Oh yeah.
I started as a house DJ, house producer, and then slowly just switched all around to bass. Even though here and there, I used to listen a lot of bass music, like, back in 2010, 2011, when Skrillex popped around the scene.
Oh yeah.
Scary Monsters, Nice Sprites.
Yeah, that era.
That's the era that I got. Like, what the fuck is dubstep? The hell is this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I fuck with it.
that was my transition into electronic music, because I came from like a hardcore and metal background. Yeah, like I was like a total like rocker chick. So like I had heard like trance and house, but like I just wasn't about it. And then I heard that kind of dubstep, and I was like, okay, this has the intensity that I like.
That's fire. Well, damn, what was the first? So I started it like around, I think it was 05 or 06. My first EDM track overall was Tiesto's Adagio for Strings.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Classic. Beautiful.
Classic. And then after that, like I became a Tiesto fan and listened to all his hit records on trance, on State of Trance, and obviously Armin's stuff, Paul Van Dyke, Ferry Corsten, all these big legends, that I grew up. And then that's where little by little over the year, I started listening to more EDM, Deadmau5, David Guetta, Avicii, rest in peace to that.
Yeah.
And then that's where 2010 and 2011 came about. That's where I started listening to bass. And then Pendulum and Skrillex and Zomboy took over my life.
Oh yeah. I love Pendulum.
Now I'm all about fucking bass,
Yeah, well, that's what happens. We evolve over time and start exploring different genres and different vibes,
But it's amazing that a lot of times, not many people, as they grow up, like they don't fuck around a lot more with that bass. Like it feels like bass is just only satire for young kids, and you only the few adults that do fuck with it,
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've definitely like mellowed out. Like definitely like over Corona, when there weren't shows anymore, I started getting into more like free form vibey type of stuff, like Of the Trees, Closey, like that type of vibe. But like before that, yeah, I love Tomorrowland. I got to go in 2019. I'm so fortunate. Really? I loved it. Yeah. So and I went to to Belgium. Yeah.
Yo,
you know what's crazy, dude? The bass stage over there, like it was beautiful. It was like this really cool dragon, had roses. It was beautiful, but it was so small. And I saw Nightmare there. I saw Zed's Dead there. I saw Seven Lions there. And they were just there like chilling. And like, because people aren't that into bass music over there. Like to them, dubstep's like not like a huge deal.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the hardstyle stage, the Q-Dance stage was like way larger. And that is like packed. Like 3 days of hardstyle. Yeah, and then the bass stage is like kind of small, but it was cool because I had like a more like intimate experience. It was cool to see them like that.
Oh, okay.
Because those artists usually would be like at like the huge bass stage, you know?
Yeah,
especially like Seven Lions.
Yeah, like even if it's like a freaking festival, like an EDC festival or
exactly,
they'll still be playing in the bigger stages, Yeah. So did you actually manage to see my boy's Mode Step?
No, I didn't see Mode Step.
That's when Shaq was around.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Diesel. I did go to his set. It was crazy.
Yeah. So Diesel,
he's super funny.
No, Shaq is a whole nother level, man. Like that.
Yeah, guy, he's so cool. Like after he played, he came and was hanging out like with the crowd at the bass stage because like he's a headbanger, like, and it's like who's gonna touch him? Who's gonna do anything? He's his own bodyguard. You know what I mean? I like went up to him and like high fived him. It was cool.
Yo, you high five to Shaq?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, he's cool. He's really good vibes for sure.
I mean, actions speak louder than words, So when you see a person like Shaq like that, you can tell what kind of person he truly really is, And it's very refreshing that somebody of his caliber
Exactly.
appreciates bass like no
Right?
other. Like he actually puts people out there. He helps people out, and he tells people like, "Yo,
Mm-hmm.
you got this. Yo, check out my man, so and so." Like I'm playing his track. It's so fire. I'm like, yo, we never asked you to do that, and yet you're doing it because you want to.
Because
That's
he wants to and he doesn't have to. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a good character, like, and at the same time, you add the funny element on him, and he's like,
Exactly.
wholesome right there. So tell me more about the experience yourself in Tomorrowland. Like, how was it overall there?
Oh man. Well, the sun sets at 10 p.m. So
10 p.m.
Yeah. And like I was getting there around noon. So that was like 12 hours of sun, like 10, 12 hours of sun. So that was a little intense. I did get a little overheated because most of the stages are outside. There are a few that are like intense. Like there's a cool trance stage that's inside a tent. That one was really cool vibes. But yeah, it's really beautiful. It's nice to just like explore. There's like 16 stages. So there's like, and they're all like different and have like beautiful artistry. Like it's really cool.
16 stages?
Yeah. It's huge. It's like Disney World, but a rave.
Yo, so it's that big.
Yeah.
Yo, and how many of those stages were you able to like participate?
Oh, I think I only hit like maybe 8 of them. The thing is that like a lot of the artists I wanted to see were like the same stages. So I would just kind of like camp out sometimes. But then there was other days where there'd be like not many people that I wanted to check out. So I would just like walk around and explore.
And did you actually camp out over there, or you?
No. No, I didn't camp.
Okay.
No, I had a hotel.
Oh, okay. That was smart.
Yeah, I wasn't about to do like 10 hours in the sun and then camping and all that. And plus, it was hot too. Like it wasn't cold.
Really?
Like it's in the summer, so it's hot.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, like I like camping more like if it's cold, like because it's like easier to sleep that way and it's more comfortable.
And like overall, the whole experience, did you actually like say to yourself, man, I can't wait to be there? Like, did it ever make you feel inspired to do some of this stuff when you come back?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
Especially like seeing, I saw Alice in Wonderland there and that was like super inspiring. I love her so much. And like, she debuted a song there too. She's like, yeah, I just like wrote this song yesterday when I was on Magic Mushrooms. And like, it was just cool. She was like, just open and being like, this is my art, here you go. And it was beautiful. Like she's really inspiring to me for sure.
So have you met any of your heroes over there?
No, I didn't get to meet anyone there. I mean, kind of shocked, but not really. It was just like a quick high five.
Okay.
But that would have been cool though if I got to meet her. Oh man, I would have loved that.
And she's like the only one in your life that you say like, oh, I follow her all through, or you have like multiple people like Shaq and whatnot.
Well, I mean, Shaq more just because like I think he's a cool person, but like musically, I don't really like. He's not really like a big inspiration for me. For as inspiration wise, I would definitely say Closey. She's a huge inspiration for me.
What's her name again?
Closey.
Yeah,
she does kind of like freeform, world-based, like tribal trap kind of stuff.
Okay. Like experimental stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Damn, that's what's up. Now that whole experience itself, did it ever make you feel like I want to actually do this for a living every day? Because I remember you mentioning me previously, like you haven't started producing music at all. You're just right now DJing. Is that something that in the works you ever feel like I want to actually try that out sometime in the future in order for this to make a thing every day? Or you're just right now I'm in a cool vibe. I just want to DJ and just whatever.
Oh no, production is definitely something I want to get into. I have Ableton on my computer from grad school from 2010, and like one time I did this like little tutorial and made like a really simple dubstep beat. So I've like messed around like a tiny bit. I just kind of wanted to like get my hands dirty with DJing first and see if like I enjoy performing and like being in front of people and everything. And then I wanted to get more into production, but definitely want to get into production.
That's very interesting take out of it, you know, because usually you hear that story like the other way around, you know, it's like, let me get into production, see if I fuck with it a lot, and let's see if people really mess with it, and then I'll get into the later stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, for me it was also kind of like crawling before I ran, you know, because I feel like DJing is probably a lot more simple than actual like sound design and music production. Yeah. So I also kind of wanted to like get my feet wet with that and like try that out first and see if it's something I really want to pursue.
And now that you actually are doing it, like you said yourself that you're actually doing some brunch places, playing house, and then once in a while you do little things here and there. Like, how do you feel as a DJ? Like, do you feel like I want to do this every day, or you feel like I'm just vibing right now? I don't know what's happening in the future.
I definitely want to play as many shows as I can get. I love it. It's the energy of it, the feedback I get from the people. It's exhilarating for me. It's so much fun.
And do you actually feel like I want to take this to the next level and I want to play on big venue shows and later to the festival circuit?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's goals, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course I would love to play a festival. That'd be amazing.
And have you already started out like a plan of how or where I gotta do this, or you haven't even gone that far yet?
Yeah, I mean, I have like some different goals I have for like, you know, like from like in, 6 months I want to be here, in a year I want to be here. So I'm just kind of like following that.
Okay. Well, I'm very curious to listen to this because the reason why is like I heard some of your stuff, and as a DJ you actually have the talent for it. It was like, damn, like, and you nail all these certain genres like on the DJ. So it's like, damn, so she got it. But the thing that actually does worry me is, the image that you're presenting when you start making music. Like, what is it that people will recognize Lucid Luna as for? Like, is Lucid Luna a bass producer, which she does bass music, or is she a trance producer? Is she a house producer? Like, what is it? Am I gonna identify Lucid Luna?
Yeah, well, no, definitely. Like, as far as production, I want to produce freeform bass for sure. Like, I like, okay. Yeah, like I love spinning house and everything, but that's just more like for fun at shows. That's not really like how I want to express myself creatively. You get me?
Yeah, that makes that actually answers my question, because I was thinking the whole time, because man, I like her a lot with all the sets, that all the mixes that she's releasing. But my biggest concern as an artist, as a somebody that's been in the industry for a while and know how this shit runs, my biggest concern is when you start putting yourself out, what are you gonna be identified as, and what is the people are gonna be identifying? Because there's no problem by DJing all sorts of genres. There's nothing wrong about it. A bunch of people do it, and there's nothing wrong either producing music of whatever genre. Like, I always encourage people, like, do whatever makes you happy. Like, if this is a genre that you feel today that make you happy, go for it. Like, get it done. Like, put it out there. But then you have to like look at the other side and look at the business aspect of it, because at a certain point you will transform this into a business, and you need to have that image in which this is what she's all about. She can fuck around with some of the stuff, but she's all about this, and the freeform bass, that's what she's all about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Has that ever, crossed your mind in which like, I really wish people will see me as this and not really as that?
I don't know. I guess I don't really think too much about how people are perceiving me. I'm just kind of like expressing my art and what I want to do. And if people receive it in a positive way, cool. And if they don't, that's cool too. It's just, I'm kind of just doing it for me.
That's the important part. Always, 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 always do stuff that is for your own satisfaction,
Yeah. And as long as I enjoy it,
Yeah.
Like I've gone through periods of time where like I just didn't feel like mixing and I didn't feel like messing around with music. And, I would just take breaks. And then sometimes random things would inspire me and I'll jump on the decks, So I just kind of like go with how I'm feeling.
That's good, And how often you actually perform out there?
I would say like every few weeks.
Every few weeks? Oh,
yeah.
So and then that's your main, source of income, or you have something else additionally?
No. I'm an advertising art director also.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like that's another thing that I love about the Lucid Luna project is that like, I'm a designer and videographer as well, and I do like editing and Photoshop and all that.
Oh,
so
shit.
I do like I made my own logo. I do like all my own branding and video editing and everything. And it's just like, it's really fun for me to be able to like, kind of like take my skills in like visual arts and like meld them with like music. I love that.
So you're very familiar when it comes to branding stuff then.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like when I actually like really start producing, it's going to be freeform. That's going to be the vibe. It's just like, I'm just having fun mixing music, and whoever wants to listen to a house mix, there's a mix for them to listen to. Whoever wants to listen to like a drum and bass mix, there's a mix for that too. So it's, just like putting out what I'm feeling in the moment. But as far as production, definitely like freeform, deep dubstep vibes is what I'm going for.
Deep dubstep vibes,
Yeah.
That experimental shit,
Yeah, with lots of wubs.
Oh, lots of wubs. Have you ever, speaking of wubs, like, have you met these guys on underground events or underground wubs?
Yeah, I've done shows for both of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With Chris and Lorenzo and Andy?
Yeah. Renzo actually gave me my first show. So it was pretty cool.
Oh,
I play shows for Renzo all the time. Yeah.
Oh, so
the brunches that we're talking about are Renzo's.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm McSurley's Beach Pub.
Oh, that's fucking fire then.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, girl, you got this. Shit. Shit, all you gotta do is start making music and then you got this. You got
yeah, for sure.
Now, is that like something like coming into playing sooner in the future, or we're still in the works with that?
Definitely in pretty soon.
And what is like the thing that you're gonna say, all right, I'm gonna tackle this first? What's that?
Probably some Ableton tutorials. Just to like get my feet wet,
Well, I'm actually curious, like what actually got you to say like, all right, let's do Ableton out of all these other DAWs that they are?
I guess because that's like what I've messed around with a little bit. So I feel like slightly more comfortable with it. Is there like a different program that you prefer to use?
No, I prefer Ableton. Like,
yeah,
I do Ableton all around.
Most people that I talk to, they use Ableton too.
Yeah, Ableton's the shit. I'm trying to be a certified trainer so I can actually have
cool
and start doing private tutoring sessions for people. But the pandemic kind of like messed up my plans a little bit. Yeah. So now I have to wait for the next time they do the exams, and usually usually that's like either in Berlin or Mexico or LA. It's like places in which like fuck, I don't have money to travel to these places.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
So like I'm hoping that the next time they open up the certification training that once more, I can just like apply again and just like, hey, can it be somewhere in the States at least? I'll travel to LA if I have to. I'll take my fiance and we'll go there and have a vacation, have a blast. and then get my certification. But shit, going to fucking Mexico and Belgium is fucking hey. No, so I'm telling you that because I'm trying to be a certified trainer.
Cool.
And I will always tell people Ableton is by far the most user-friendly DAW that you can ever touch.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've done Pro Tools, Logic, and Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops, yeah.
And every one of them has their kinks. Like everybody has their, their pros and cons. But I feel like Ableton has so many pros that it outweighs any of the cons from any other DAs. So it's like, I don't know. Ableton is just do it. But like even editing my podcast itself, I do it in Ableton.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I can literally master in Ableton. I can mix and master in Ableton as well. A lot of people rather, mix and master on Pro Tools because that's how because Pro Tools has a better audio engine than Ableton.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've dabbled to all, then I say it's its own preference. It really doesn't matter. It's its own preference. If you can mix and master properly in Ableton and it sounds fucking dope and it reaches the gold standards, then stick to your guns. You don't have to do anything outside of that. And even so, I tell people it's like if your mixing is loud enough and it's good enough that doesn't really need a mastering, then you don't really need to master.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's little things like that, because sometimes you hear people telling you like, oh no, you have to master every track.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's you have to, or else it doesn't sound good. It's like it's a yes or no. Like
it depends.
Yeah, it really depends. Like you can all of my songs right now that are released to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all Apple and SoundCloud anywhere. None of them are mastered. They're all
wow.
And they're all loud as shit, but they're all clean. Yeah,
but it's clean.
And that's what you want. You want to make sure that it's loud and it's clean. Also another nudge, something that a lot of engineers and producers will tell you is like, oh, don't be clipping. Don't be clipping in your DAWs. Like if it's clipping, it's because it gets distorted and whatnot. That's a false statement, to be honest.
Oh.
You can redline. That's fine. As long as it doesn't sound distorted enough, that's not destroying the sound of the music that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's one of those little things that when you start making music, like the old saying, learn the rules so you can learn how to break them.
Yeah.
It's shit like that, and you know this stuff halfway, for your career and your life. You learn some of this stuff and you find some of the tricks, and then you came to realize like it's incredible that nobody told me about this when I was starting up. So it's like, well, I'm telling you now, and I'm telling you to everybody who's listening to the show. It's like, guys, you're allowed to, as long as you know what you're doing. I'm not telling you go ahead and make a song and then redline it and say, oh, Wolfson told me to redline it. Chill the fuck down. I only say you can redline as long as it doesn't sound distorted. And this is mindful by saying this is that you actually learn how to mix on your sessions. Because if you don't know how to mix, then that's another factor,
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's unfortunate, like in today's world, in order for you to become an artist, it's no longer that you have to make music and that's it. That's your job. Like, no. Today's world, you have to be the artist, the producer, the engineer, the promoter, the marketer, the publicist, the graphic designer, the manager, the agent. Like you have to be everything. You have to do
everything.
So it's crazy how some of this shit has evolved into what it is right now, which is dope. But at the same time, it's a pain in the ass. The fact that you have to do all this stuff or else you're not gonna be relevant enough, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually felt like that as you were doing as your DJ? Because you say that you're also a branding director, right? And
Art director.
art director.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like that as like shit? Like I gotta do this, and that in order for
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, well, like I have an issue with not wanting to be much on social media. It's like I have to do a lot of social media stuff for work, like for
Yeah.
my advertising job. So it's kind of like I don't want to do it for Lucid Luna stuff, but I know that it's like really important. I just want to like whenever I'm working on Lucid Luna, I just want it to be about music. Like I don't want to like
Exactly.
be on Instagram having to post this and that, but I know that it's important and it's part of it, as you're saying. You have to do all the parts to make it work for sure.
And I'd rather pay somebody to handle my social media, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I fucking hate dealing with social media, especially when I'm
Yeah, me
recording
too.
myself. Like I fucking hate it. I just have it just to put my stuff and have people to where to listen to, and also where that's where I find people like you. You know, I DM
Yeah.
people all the time to say, hey, you're interested to be in the show. You want to be a guest of my show? It's like that's my only source of networking.
Yeah, it's super important for networking. It's just, sometimes it feels like a chore, but we have to do it.
And I hate it. You know, I hate it. And especially at my age, I was like, bro, I'm really fed up with this crap. Like I really do not want to deal with it. And I know I have to. Especially there was a time in which I had TikTok for a while. And one of my boys told me, he's like, yo, have TikTok and start posting clips of your episode of your show. You know, put like the most important parts of every episode and put it on TikTok. You'll get a lot of following. So it's like, all right, go. So when I posted one, I saw this like it reached like 600 views. I'm like, holy shit, that's
a lot.
That's a lot. And then it went down to and then start going averaging between 100 to 200 to 300 around there. Didn't reach that like it was, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work because I have to like not only am I the guy who edits its own show.
Yeah.
I have to mix and master. And then I have to upload it to YouTube and all these other platforms. I also have to like, oh, great. Now I have to download it, the whole thing. So that way I can cut the important clips, which I believe is the important clips, and then have to put it on my phone. And then once I put it on my phone, then I have to upload it. And that shit drains me a lot because it's like, fuck, I had to dedicate an entire hour just to do this bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, I know what you mean because like I do my editing and everything too, and yeah, it's a process. I mean, even just like getting the file onto your phone can be annoying sometimes. Like,
dude, especially when your phone's telling you like, oh, you're out of storage. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
video. It's like, oh no, the phone tells us like, oh no, you got a bunch of other crap. I was like, great. So now I gotta start deleting. It's like, no. I hate the fact that it's a love and hate relationship. I love it because it makes me and connects me to people, but I hate it the fact that you have to have a strong social media presence for you to be relevant around the blocks.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's so bullshit. That's so like why have we gone down to that path in which like, oh yeah, the only way that we're relevant is if we're active in social media. Other than that, we're just like,
yeah, it became like the industry standard.
and it's so funny because even though some of these labels, they only look at you if they see you if you have a strong social media presence.
Yeah, like a certain amount of followers or something. Yeah,
like they don't give a fuck anymore about your talent or how talented you really are or how your music is dope. No, like now it's all about like, what do you do in social media? How many people? How many likes? How many comments? How many views? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I really do not like how this is turning out to. But it's It is what it is. I'm just trying to find somebody who can actually help me advertise my shit.
Yeah.
So if you know somebody, you let me know, or you can do my job and I'll pay you for it. So
Yeah, I mean, if you need help with any of that, with any design work and stuff, like definitely let's talk.
absolutely, we'll stay in touch of that. But the whole reason about this interview is all about you and not about me. Okay, so stop talking about me. All right. So let me ask you this: what actually prompted you to say, like, I wanted to be a DJ and I wanted to do this whole journey as Lucid Luna?
Well, I found myself with a bunch of free time at the beginning of the pandemic. And I had a few friends that had started DJing, and we would like hang out at each other's places and just mix and have fun. So I was like, you know what, let me try out their controllers and see how that goes, you know? And I really liked it. So then I went to Guitar Center and like messed around with some of the controllers there, and then ended up getting, I got a little Newmark Serato controller that I started off with.
Fire Serato.
Yeah. I still build my sets actually in Serato and then like transfer them over to Record Box, because I like, to me, visuals are very important. I'm an art director, and I like how Serato looks more. Like I can almost like read the music visually easier than I can in Record Box. I know it's like an extra step, but I don't know. It works better with my workflow. So,
oh, absolutely. Well, the cool thing about Rekordbox now is that now you can actually link it off with your iTunes playlist and your
true,
and your Serato playlist. Like if you already had something already for Serato, that you can actually transfer all of that over there.
Yeah, it's cool. You can do that.
And I admire it, because like Serato is by far my favorite software that I've ever worked in my life as a DJ. Like,
yeah, mine too.
until I met the CDJ.
Yeah, you got to use Record Box.
I gotta use Record Box. Like,
yeah, I was so scared to transfer over to CDJs for the longest time, but then like I finally like just tried it out, and it really wasn't as bad as I thought.
I mean, once you actually learn the basics of Serato and you already know how to mix in Serato, like doing it in the CDJs hard, you know, because the cool thing about the CDJs now is that you can see the waveforms, not as colorful as Serato, obviously, you know.
Yeah, but a little bit.
And I'm the same way. I'm more of a visual person. Like if I see that two things are lining up, then that's fine by me, because I can see that they're actually getting beat match out of it, you know, and I see them through both the CDJs. It's like, oh shit, okay, they're all lining up perfect. That's the way I wanted it, you know?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I started out, I didn't have that privilege. I started out, I'm 32. I started out when I was 15, and I had, before virtual DJ was a thing back in the day, before it was a thing, I had the Newmarks. That was like the CD versions of the Newmarks. Yeah. That you put it on a case itself, and it's like CDs, and it has little jog wheel effects and whatnot. I learned how to DJ through that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then,
so you didn't have a visual representation or anything. Never. Yeah.
My visual representation, numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, this song has 4 minutes left. That's my visual representation. Everything else I have to hear by ear, you know. And
could you see the BPM or no?
Yeah, you can see the BPM.
Okay.
That alone is not gonna help you much if you don't know how to, you know, mix in with the beat, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And back then I was stupid, because I was just I didn't care about the BPM. So I can be mixing a 87 BPM with 100 something BPM.
You would just slide to the next one.
Slide to the next one. Like that. But I do it like either that, gradually. It doesn't sound like a train wreck, but I do it gradually. And it works, you know, it works.
Yeah, you know, some people mix like that and it works.
And it's funny because that's how most of my stuff actually started off until virtual DJ showed me, hey, you can beat match with this track. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Sync? What? What is this sync? Oh my God, this shit made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Since then, I've been spoiled by that, you know. I've been spoiled by the freaking sync button, you know. And then Serato came about, and then it's like, no more sync. I was like, perfect. This is exactly what I needed, you know. Place where I can learn how to beat match without rely on sync. But then at that point, I already learned how to do the beat matching. So now it's just me.
So you already like knew what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it was just Serato with the CDJs. I've been using the CDJs 1000s for the longest time. It wasn't until I moved to Miami that the 2000s was the thing.
Was a thing, yeah.
And even so, I didn't know how to use the 2000s because I didn't practice enough. Like I used to own one CDJ 2000.
Just one.
Just one, because that's as much I could have afforded at that time.
Yeah.
It was just the one. And I used it for Serato. So I couldn't really like say like, oh yeah, I knew it because I had one. Like, no, I use it for Serato purposes because with Serato, the beauty about Serato is that I can DJ with just one turntable.
You can? Like, how do you can do like multiple decks on one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that? You just basically So the cool thing about Serato is that let's say that my CDJ is on the right and then I'm playing a song. So what you do is that when the song is playing, you basically duplicate it on the second deck that you have nothing, but you can still mix in it.
Into that channel.
And then you switch to that channel. Well, that channel is still playing. You look around, search for the second song and load it on your CDJ. And then that's when you can do a little scratching or start mixing. And then once you do the mixing, then you can duplicate on the next track and then do and so on and so on. Yeah, you can do that with just one deck.
Cool.
With food for a thought, you know.
Yeah.
Against Serato. But yes, right now, DJ, that's the only thing that you got in your mind right now. No,
I definitely want to get into production. It's just, you know, something I'm working towards.
And why is it that you're like saying like, oh, I'm gonna get into it? Why haven't you like started like, I'm gonna get into it now?
I guess I just kind of wanted to like get my feet wet first with DJing and see if it's something that like I really wanted to pursue.
And is that actually something that you're like, I want to do this every day so far?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so much, and I just want to like keep going farther and like keep playing shows and doing like streams and different type of things.
Oh, so you actually do streaming a lot?
Not personally, but I participated in different live streams.
Oh, okay. Tell me what's about those live streams. I never actually got into it.
Yeah, like there's ones that I've done like on Twitch, like part of like a live stream kind of festival with like a bunch of different artists.
With green screen and everything?
No, I mean, the way I recorded it myself. Well, the first one I did had a green screen, but I didn't have to do like any of the production work. It was like my friend that he was putting on the stream, and he like had everyone come in and had like a setup there. And then the second one I actually filmed at a really beautiful park in Miami, like as a location for it. And then like I provided the video. Like I did like a whole little edit for it and then provided the video.
Man, so wow. You really are like the most multitasking person ever.
Yeah, and I love playing like outside in different locations. I have a really easy setup that I could just take with me. That it's like I don't need power. So it's fun to be able to just like go random places and like do a set just like in the middle of nowhere. I love doing that. It's so much fun.
That's dope. That's dope. Now that you're actually like thinking of becoming like the next big thing as a DJ, like, do you see any sort of difference, like, or changes that you believe that you're gonna every time you go to a show, you see things much more differently, or you still feel like no, it's pretty much everything the same?
Well, definitely now, whenever I see like anyone perform, I analyze it like crazy. Like I'm just
Oh, that's the
like I can
curse.
hear, yeah. Like before, I dude, there's so much stuff that I didn't notice before. Like so many mixes that I loved before that now, like I have a completely different ear, and I notice like crappy transitions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it's so funny. It's like,
I
yeah, it's like
know.
it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. You know, I'm a very analytical person, so sometimes I just can't help it. I'm like, oh wait, okay, I hear they're bringing in something, but like it's too heavy on the bass, like, or you know, like I start, or I'm like, oh, that actually is a cool transition, or like I like what they're doing, like making the melodies flow together, and like it's cool to be able to like dissect that now and see it. But it also kind of like takes me away a little bit from like enjoying the show sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm like just nerding out about it.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse at all at the same time, man. You know,
Yeah.
any show I go to, it doesn't matter which show I go to, I always end up analyzing this person's set or this person's like. Oh,
Yeah, like you
cool.
can't like turn it off now.
No, not really. And here's a funny thing. Start listening to your old music
Oh yeah.
and start analyzing them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have recorded sets from like when I first started out, and I remember like I write notes on like my recordings and stuff, and some of them I was like, oh yeah, like this one maybe I can release and this and that, and I look back at that and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like it's cool to see like yourself grow and progress. You know,
Right.
that now I'm critiquing stuff that I thought was good enough before. You know, like we were constantly like evolving and learning. So I like to like see my old stuff to see like how far I've come.
And what about like other people's music? Like I say, stuff that you normally would listen to the radio. Do you actually now enjoy the same way you used to before, or you nerd it out as well?
Oh, I'm super like analyzing the crap out of everything. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely like my ear changed for sure. For sure. Like it, you know, I feel like I hear things before that I used to just like gloss over that I didn't notice. Like even though I played clarinet in middle school and high school, so like I do
Oh.
have like a music background,
Mhm.
but for like electronic music specifically, like I feel like my knowledge is a lot greater now, so I listen to it differently.
That's very cool that you actually play the clarinet. Do you still like?
Yeah, I was a band geek.
Hey, let me tell you, there's one time in band camp. But do you still play the clarinet or any of the instruments, or you? It's been a while, and you're like, eh.
I fool around with it every once in a while, but I don't play like every day like I used to when I was in school. But I feel like it definitely helped me have an understanding of music and phrasing and like time signatures and everything.
Yeah.
It definitely helped.
Well, this is a wild idea right now that I'm just spitballing right now.
Go for it.
You can probably do something with Lucid Luna with your clarinet.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've thought about like recording some sounds and like doing effects and making it more like synth kind of sounds, because I can play melodies, so it might be easier for me to like come up with a melody like that and then transfer it over to the digital world.
See that's something that not many people can do, and I can name you people with one my hand. What's his name? Tiny Trumpet.
Oh yeah. I saw him at Tomorrowland. Timmy Trumpet. Yeah.
And he had the trumpet, right?
He's amazing.
What's his name? Sullivan King with his
Yeah.
guitar and his shouting into the mic.
Yeah.
while they're doing their set. It's like, not like I said, there's not that many people.
There's Grizz too with the saxophone.
Grizz, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. But here's the thing. Maybe, and again, spitballing. This could be something that can that people can identify you as like, holy fuck! I remember this chick. Lucid Luna with a clarinet. I remember she played this song, and it was just like, whoa. And you can do some of that stuff not only to incorporate yourself into your own music. When you start producing music and you can incorporate some of that stuff once you get that feel about it. But why don't you also try to do it during your live sets, during your DJ sets?
Yeah, that would be cool to incorporate.
You know how it would be dope that that you're playing let's take it the most easy ones, the brunch houses, right? Imagine that you're vibing in the brunch, you like all right, and then you mix it with the house, and then every house song, guys, I really don't give a shit, guys. Every house song, most of the time they sound the same and they're long. It's a 6 to 8 minute track. I don't know what you guys do most of the time, because all I see is you guys go like. But in dubstep world, we're constantly switching song from one to another every 30 seconds.
I don't play any track for 8 minutes. Oh no, I would be so bored. I love doing quick cuts. It keeps it interesting.
Yeah, but so what I'm trying to get to is like, when you're doing all those house sessions, you can play around with your clarinet around the song that you're playing.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That's something that will catch people's attention right away. It's like, oh shit, she's not just DJing, but she's playing the fucking clarinet in front of me. Like, wow. Like, this is fucking fire. And she's playing along with it.
Yeah, that would be cool. I never even thought about like incorporating the clarinet. I mean, I thought about like recording sounds, but not incorporating it into like an actual performance. But that would be really dope.
That's something to think about,
Yeah.
And it's something that you can do it any given time and any given set, And all you need is just your it's just a lavalier mic, hook it up to your clarinet.
Yeah.
And that mic is hooked up to the mixer, and whenever a song pops that you can feel the rhythm, the groove to it, let it ride.
Yeah.
Because then
that'd be really cool.
It's a new flavor, it's a new taste, a new sensation. When people hear that stuff, they appreciate more music much more, because now it's like, it's no longer a vibe, it's a feeling, it's a way of life, and people just like will go nuts about it, And let me tell you, I mean, again, Timmy Trumpet with the trumpets, Sullivan King with the guitar and the voices, and what's her name? The Lindsey Sterling, the dubstep violin.
Oh yeah, that video with the snow. I remember that.
Yeah, Lindsey Sterling started her career because of making the dubstep violin.
Yeah, that was cool.
When you hear the song right now, is basically the 140 BPM kick snare with some looping basses. It's the same bass over and over, but she incorporated it with the violin and
it's beautiful.
The violin switch patterns midway, and you can hear, like, you can feel her with it, and it just makes sense overall.
Yeah.
So imagine Lucid Luna with the clarinet.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm gonna try that out.
Practice out. Practice out whatever you have a chance. Like, get your clarinet, play one of your sets, right? Play one of your sets and see if you feel like the groove around it. Just go like.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm spitballing right here, but I can literally picture you with the clarinet, because that's also shows you like how talented you really are, and how how your talents is bringing out to the world and demonstrate like look what I can actually do, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. I mean, when I see opportunities and stuff like that, I tell it. I just shut it.
Yeah, you have
Like
great ideas.
I have lots of great ideas for people. Sometimes it doesn't work on me, so you know. But sometimes they do, like this podcast. This podcast actually has been one of the best ideas I've ever did and accomplished by it, you know. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
very, very in love with it. And this is the one thing that makes me happy.
exactly. And that's what you got to do. You got to pursue that.
And that's what you gotta do for the rest of your life. Like always do something that
Hmm.
makes you happy. Because the moment that you feel like you're not feeling it, it's like maybe you need a setback. Maybe you need to like,
Exactly.
you know. Now we got like a few more questions and we can wrap this up. Um,
Hmm.
One thing I actually noticed, you said that most of the time when you're recording these live sets and these mixes and put it on SoundCloud and whatnot, you know, you're like, I feel like I'm doing liquid DMB. I'm feeling like doing some dubs. I feel like doing houses. At any given time, have you ever had any experience with writer's block? Which is like, it's kind of rare to ask you this as a DJ, but
Hmm.
because normally you don't, writer's block is something that normally people doing creative stuff gets to, you know, that there's limited dumps and whatnot. But as a DJ, there are times in which you feel like you think that, you know, mixing this song with this song makes sense when you put it out. In theory, in paper, it makes sense. But when you put it out, it just doesn't hit right. And then
Hmm.
you had to do the whole set again. And then you had to do the whole set for the start. And then you gotta switch the song. Have you ever had some of that stuff?
I guess the only time, well, I haven't exactly had writer's block, but sometimes I have issues making decisions. Like I'll have like three different transitions that I kind of like how they sound, and just trying to choose like which one I'm gonna do in the set. Sometimes that happens to me, but that's mainly like when I'm putting a set together that I'm gonna play at a show. But like for my mixes that I put on SoundCloud, those just come out of me organically. That's just like
Mm.
whatever's flowing. So that's more like just kind of like whatever is going in the moment. So I don't really feel like the pressure, you know, but like definitely like with live sets that have to be like a certain amount of time. And I like to like piece my sets together kind of like a puzzle. So when I have to be more specific like that, then yeah, that does happen sometimes.
So that was the other thing I was gonna ask you. You know how you do
Hmm.
your mixes. Like you just answer. You do it organically. Like
Sometimes I freestyle, and then sometimes I'll freestyle to get an idea of like the flow of
right.
songs, but then I'll like go in and put like specific cues on like where I want to blend them.
And have there been times during your mix that you make a few mistakes, so you're like, "Fuck, I gotta do this again, and I gotta stop the whole thing because I lost the flow."
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'll like record stuff over and over and over, but like it's still fun for me, and like I want the product to come out as best as it can. So
Right.
I don't mind putting in the work.
Another blessing curse for us.
Yeah.
Imperfection, man. Like I'm telling you, it's like you always want to have something that's perfect, but you know, it's like we're never gonna be satisfied with the end result because every time we'll just like, fuck, I could have done this better. Like
Yeah, there's
fuck.
always something you can do better, but there has to be a point where you're like, okay, I need to finish.
Yeah,
You know?
seriously. And that thing's gonna kick you in the ass and when you start, you know, making music and whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm like that already, like with video editing and with design. So I know it's gonna be the same thing with audio production.
And talking about video and editing, like how
Hmm.
often do you actually, you know, video and edit stuff? Like, and what is it that you normally do when you're doing that? Like, do you do music
Um,
videos? Do you do commercials? Do you do movies, TVs? Like, what is in particular?
yeah, so I work in advertising, so I've done everything that you just said. I've done music videos, not exactly like professionally, but definitely like for fun with like my friends and different stuff like that. But it's mainly like social media. I've done like some like commercial spots, like stuff like that.
And and when it comes to all that stuff, oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Shit.
It's okay.
I actually was gonna ask you something like, okay, now we're gonna go with this. Fuck, I can't believe it.
No worries.
It's late, man.
We've been talking for a while. It's okay.
we have it's been a while. You know, it's been a while. It's been late. You know, a long day, but I'm still here kicking it.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember. So you do the video editings. Now, do you also do the video recordings? Like, do you go there and record some of the stuff, or have you record some videos on your own?
Yeah, I have a DSLR camera. So, I mean, some of the video stuff that I have, like in my portfolio, I've recorded myself, and some of it was done like by an actual like director of photography. It just kind of like depends on my involvement in the project.
And what are like some of your greatest hits out of it?
What do you mean, like with my job specifically? Like,
Yeah,
or
no,
you mean
like not your job specifically, but you in general. Like, what are some of the stuff that you were so proud of doing that, you know, or you had so much fun on doing some of the stuff?
Yeah, well, definitely. My Mystic Garden set that I did, it was for the Fort Knox stream I did last year. That was really cool because I got to film in like this beautiful location, and I took some shots of like the scenery and like little like close-ups of flowers and stuff like that, and did like a little edit in the beginning, kind of like going to the music, and then it like fades into me playing. And I like kind of like incorporating a little bit of like video editing into my sets.
That's pretty cool. Now,
Yeah.
like, is there like a creative process when you get down to like to say I feel like I'm doing liquid DMB? Do you actually like pre-playlist yourself, like I'm gonna play some of the songs, or you just like freestyle the fuck out of it and just like whatever is right here in my USB, boom, that's it?
Yeah, well, I like to just like, I have like different crates set up like by genre and stuff, and then I'll just like go into there and like start at a random song and then just like go from there. And like, I don't know, I'll be hearing a part, and then I'm like, okay, now a lot of times like I'll hear the next track in my head, and I'm like, that's how I kind of like know like what's gonna go with it. It just helps to like know your music a lot and have things organized too. That's like a big part of it, just so you can know like where to find stuff quickly, you know?
Yeah, most of the time I basically like iTunes is such it's a big fit in my life. Like, I cannot live without iTunes, because in iTunes because I'm always like listening to music every day. I'm also downloading, and sometimes if there's a song that I want to play, I download it. And then I create playlists. And because Serato and Rekordbox has this function that they can, you know,
you can import it.
Yeah, they can import anything that's in iTunes, import it in Serato and Record. And all I got to do is just look at the playlist and then just like put the cue marks here and there and whatnot, the memory cues. So that way, like, okay. And then I just start testing around it and just start organizing it. But I always form a playlist. It's like, I want to play some of these songs and I want to play it on this order, and let's see how it goes, you know?
Yeah. It's good to have like a bit of like an outline of what you want to do.
Yeah. I have
a little bit of structure.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong about that. And I hate when people say, like, criticize DJs saying like, oh, this guy had a pre-playlist, you know, like, he's not really he's just switching songs. Like, well, listen, dude, the fact that you're listening to the song and it sounds dope, the set itself is dope, that's because he worked his ass off. He or she worked his ass off to make sure that the song selection that they pick, you know, meets the room, you know, meets like
exactly.
Because they're not, they could freestyle, and sometimes some of these freestyles, they don't come off really good.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, another aspect that, that I definitely want to talk to you about, and I'm curious in your perspective, when it comes to, getting ear fatigue or getting mentally exhausted through some of this stuff. Do you ever experience some of that? Any issues when it comes to mental health itself?
Um, I don't know, not really as much because I actually find mixing to be very therapeutic for me. Like if I'm feeling down or something, I'll just like get on my controller and just flow and see what comes out. And it actually like makes me feel a lot better. It's like really, really like enjoyable for me.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Now,
It makes me really happy.
and any given time that you ever feel like down, like you just get into the pits and be like, this is it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some times that I'm so down that like I don't really feel like playing music. It kind of just depends. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just kind of try to go with what I feel.
And what do you do in those moments when you feel like you're not down for anything today?
I like to go outside a lot and be in nature. I find that to be like therapeutic too. Just like going for a walk or like hang out and like sitting by the water.
Right. That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
It helps me. Working out helps sometimes too.
Yeah, that's something I need to start doing.
We all need to work out more. That's always going to be a thing.
we all need to work out more. Fuck. So let me ask you this: why is it that you chose Lucid Luna as your DJ name or as your artist name?
Well, lucid dreaming is something I've always been very interested in. I used to lucid dream a lot more when I was a kid. I don't know if you're aware of what lucid dreaming means.
Can you give a little bit more explanation?
Yeah, it's basically like when you're in a dream and you become aware that you're dreaming and that it's not real life. So I used to do that a lot as a kid. And basically like, oh, I find out that I'm dreaming. So then like suddenly, like if I wanted to fly, I could fly, or I could like breathe underwater, like do whatever. Like it's just like really enjoyable to kind of like escape in your mind for a little bit, but to have that control of it because you're actually lucid. So it's kind of like you're like half awake dreaming in a way. And then the Luna part is I love the moon. I love space, all of the motifs and themes with that. So I just kind of want to like incorporate that and like the alliteration of like the L's together. I just like how it sounds.
Well, that's actually a pretty cool explanation. I never knew the real definition of lucid. So I was like, this is like a chance to ask her. And for the followers who don't know what lucid is.
Yeah, it just basically means to be like aware and like awake.
That's funny because like in my dreams, usually I don't realize that I'm in my dream. I just like, I'm just acting out as if like I was doing this on an everyday. And then when I wake up, it's like, holy fuck, I wasn't.
You're like, oh, wow, it was a dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of my dreams are like that too. It's just, there's a few times I have lucid dreams and that's what's really special because it's like a different experience.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So we got like 2 more questions and we can wrap this up.
Okay.
So what is your greatest accomplishment up till now? And what do you hope to accomplish by in the near future?
My greatest accomplishment. I guess I would say like just like different shows that I've played. I got to play Flow Fridays for Alchemy Cartel up in West Palm Beach. And that was a really cool show because that was probably like one of the largest shows I've played. It was kind of like outside and had like a festival kind of vibe to it. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed doing that.
And what do you hope to accomplish by now in the future? What is it your goal right now that's like, I'm going to hit this and I'm going to accomplish that very soon?
Yeah, well, I want to put out an EP next year.
Ooh. That's actually,
I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to try to make that happen.
That's actually a big goal, especially when you haven't even started making music and you're like set your mind. It's like it's happening. Like,
yeah, I feel like I need to set goals like that for myself to like push myself to make it happen. You know what I mean?
that's good. That's very fire, man. I hope you actually get a chance to do it. And if you have
Yeah.
any music, please don't hesitate. Send it over to me.
Oh, I would love to get your feedback for sure.
Absolutely. Now, before I get to the last question, this is something that I ask every person in my show. Gives them a chance to know something about me or know something about the industry itself. Because I've been in this nightlife scene for almost 20 years. And I've seen the ins and outs, and I see the ugliness and some of the stuff that people don't realize that happens, but they do happen. Men or women, it don't matter. I've seen it happen, and I've seen it, and I was present to some of these stuff, and you'll be surprised some stuff, and especially in the early works, in the early days, and it's just like I'm a big open book, basically. So I take this opportunity to give it to you guys for the guests and ask me anything about the industry. Like, since you're about to start off, and you're a DJ woman, and there's not that many DJ women out there, and especially in this man-splaining industry, you know, how it's very male dominant. There's certain things that as a woman you have to be aware of, you know, and move a certain way to make sure you don't get caught off in certain crossfires and whatnot. Is there anything in particular that you want to ask me right now, or ask me, or have a question about something that I can actually help you answer it, that can actually help you in the future or in the long run, or even ask me about anything about myself?
Yeah, like what would be like the main like tip you have for like, I don't know, like getting your name out there and like being respected within the scene?
Okay.
Sorry if that's a really large question.
No, it's definitely, there's an answer for it. It's just I have to collect my thoughts for it, and answer it in a way that actually, you know, benefits you a lot to see the point of view of it. So for you to get respected, I'll answer that part first before I answer you the first one, which is like, what was the question again? It's like, what is it that you get to get yourself
like
out there?
Yeah.
And get respected. So it's the old saying, respect is earned, not given.
Yeah.
But you gotta demonstrate that you have to respect me and respect my craft. You can't let me play. You have to be very, like, you have to play the game, but don't let the game take advantage of you. There are times in which, for example, if you want to get something, you have to work for free. It doesn't gain much, but it can actually get you a little bit more closer and closer to your goal. So stuff like that, you had to play around. Like, you have to play around, because if you see it, it's like a chess move. You have to think 10 steps ahead before you make the move. Because if you say, okay, let's just say, all right, if I want to get to this festival, I have to play a certain shows for free. Okay, that's one step. Once I get to start playing certain shows, I gain the trust. I gain their trust. I show them, like, this is how good I am.
Yeah, it's like steps you have to take.
Steps, and I do a little bit of favors for it. You know, favors is like, hey, you want me to tell people to come over to your show, or hey, you want me to like promote your show? Hey, you want me to like, transactional stuff that legal. That's within the legal reasons, which is the way that that demonstrates like, how hungry you really are. And then the more they see how committed you are and you are to their cause, the more they're going to incline to invite you more and more and put you out there more. And then once that happens, that's where like, yo, you want to go to this festival? Fuck yeah. Finally, I did 5 steps. Bang. I did it. I had to sacrifice some time of myself just to get it, but I got it.
You got to where you wanted to get. Yeah.
You got to where you got to get. You have to play just for a bit. You can't be rebellious all the time. There are times in which you can say no and tell it to fuck off. Say it in the most respectful way, in the most nicest way. Don't ever be rude to anybody unless they deserve to be, rude. Always be nice and humble with everybody, and always be appreciative with everybody. Say like, thank you for the opportunity. Even if it's nothing, show them. Then like I appreciate the littlest thing, because that's gonna get you a lot farther than you think. And once you and here's the thing. Remember what I say. Like, all right, my goal is to get to this festival. All right, but once I get it, what am I gonna be doing in the festival? Other than playing. So what are my goals once I met the actual goal?
Yeah, what's the next goal?
So the next goal is, all right, I got to the festival. Network with everybody around. Who are you?
For sure.
Like, oh, I'm so-and-so's representative. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so. What do you do for a living and this and that? Oh, so get to know people. Be friendly with people. Ask for their phone number or their contact information, their emails. Easiest thing is, what's your email or what's your Instagram so I can follow you, And maybe we could talk about that. Have that friendly conversation with these people. You find it that they'll be more inclined to give their information to you, But you had to approach in the most friendly way and, not say like, hey, about this set so-and-so, like, no, just talk about certain things. It's like, how you doing, man? What is it that you're trying to do? Maybe start with a little small talk and maybe a little bit like, you're small talking, but get something that, gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, something to like break the ice and like talk to them a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And once you got them engaged with you, that's it. That's it. Because after that, you get a lot of conversations. That's where you're like, yo, let's exchange information, man, because I had a great time talking to you. And I'm like, absolutely, here you go. Bam. Before you know it, you're friends with one of the artists. You're friends with one of their managers, your agents, or the festival runners, like stuff like that. So that's those are the type of steps that you gotta do. And the more stuff you see yourself, exposing yourself out there, the more people will respect you. By doing these certain things, and you demonstrate that and say like, I'm this type of person, and that's how people are gonna see you. That's how you get the respect is getting earned, not given. And
definitely
by how hard you work and how much you appreciate other people's work, and you support other people's work, and you stay within those those bounds, and you let them know it's like, I ain't open for business, but I'm open for business to do this,
Yeah.
If you catch my drift. Because there are gonna be times that you're gonna meet unfortunately, it's inevitable. If you can avoid it, then do it. Avoid it. But there will be times in which you'll meet some sleazeballs.
Yeah.
And you have to be very careful. It's very easy to pick up. People don't really realize it. That people really say like, oh, I thought this guy was a very nice person. Like the way he treated me, like, yeah. See, that's because you didn't pick up the signs. It's very easy to detect a fuck boy or a sleazeball. Like from my, like, even as a man, I can tell you like, dude, that guy, he only wants to fuck you. That guy, he only wants to do shit with you. Like stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And let me tell you,
it's important to be aware of that for sure.
Yeah, because it's easy to detect. And if it's easy for me to detect, it's you guys are much more alert than we are.
Yeah.
So you can definitely detect that shit a mile away. But there are times in which you'll find people like that. And those are the people that you have to be very careful, because there may be times that you may have to work with them in certain aspects, but stay like an arm's length from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's definitely important to be like aware of the, the possibility of that, and just like, keep your guard up with that.
Yeah. And obviously say no. Say no. If there's like a transaction that they offer you to say, I'll make you the next, Alice in Wonderland, but you gotta do me some things. Tell them to fuck off. And
yeah. Yeah, I don't really need that.
You don't need it. Nobody needs it. This is, we can do favor for favor, sure. Like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back within the compounds of the legality that we can do it. But when it comes to like crossing certain lines, that's where we stop right there. And and when you see some of that stuff, you stay the fuck away from it, and people will be like, respect. You say fuck off to this guy, People don't normally say it, and you said it. Respect. I've said said so many fuck ups to many people in my life that at this point I've been shadow banned so many times, People really have said some mean shit about me. I'm like, it's like water to me, to be honest. I breathe. It doesn't really bother me. It bothered me at the beginning, the fact like, Annie, I trusted you, and then you do some backstabbing shit. But it's stuff that you learn in this industry, And
it happens in every industry. Yeah, and it's good to be aware of it,
It's always good to be aware of. I hope that answers your question with the first one. What was it again? Like, what was the first question?
Just like how to like get your music out there and your name out there and everything. But you totally answered it, like with networking and like developing relationships with like other DJs and producers and everything.
Basically, that's like your main goal. Like,
for sure.
Networking with DJs and A&Rs and meeting them on these festivals or these venues. Like, if you're good friends with the promoters or the festival runners, then they'll hook you up in some way, or, hook them up in something so they can hook you up with something. That's where you work the favor to favor. So like in the case of Lorenzo, Lorenzo and Chris, give them, bring some people over to their shows and say, I'm bringing some of my people over to your show. They'll be very grateful for that, because like,
oh yeah, definitely.
You're bringing them people to their business, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you didn't, and they didn't ask you for it. You just did it, because,
Oh yeah.
And it's stuff like that. Believe it or not, little things like that can make a real big impact, because it's stuff like that. It's like, hey, are you? Can I like get stages for so show? Like, I want to work a bit, help you guys a little bit, but I also want to network with some of these people and trying to get this and that. They'll be like, yeah, absolutely, I got you, because you help them out.
It's a mutually beneficial relationship. Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
And the fact that you say like, I'll bring more people and I get more people over to the festival, they'll be like, fuck yeah, like here's your guest batch. Like, go have fun. It works both ways. And the same thing goes with labels as well. Like, if you bring some sort of service, you have a perfect case than I have. You have a way better case than I have. In my case, I don't know what to offer for labels other than my music. And it's like, all right, how do I get them to listen to my music, and how do I get them, to play my music in the labels? So I offered them a free service. I tell them, hey, I do vocal packs. Let's say like, I give you guys like 200 vocal packs for free. All I ask is that, that they follow me. That's it.
That's cool.
That's it. And then 3 vocal packs later, I'm releasing music on their label.
That's awesome.
Because it's a mutual transaction, that benefits both parties, So that way it doesn't feel like one party feels like I'm giving you a lot, like you're not giving me anything. Like, what is it that you're giving to? Well, I'm giving you my service by saying I do vocal pads. Here, it's all yours. In your situation, you have a way better case than I do, because you say that you do video editings and you do a lot of other stuff that involves, with marketing and advertising, Just offer some of those services for free on these labels or these artists or whatnot. They're gonna call you and say, oh, dude, yo, like, how much do you do this? Oh, we can work something out. Yo, then let's do it. Before you know, you're already working with an artist that you looked up for quite some time, Like,
yeah, that would be awesome.
But let's just say, for example, if you meet Alice in Wonderland, and I know you're gonna meet her. Like, if you like her that much, you're gonna meet her eventually at one of these festivals. Hey, I met Skrillex, some boy, plenty of times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those are my heroes, and it happens. And when you do meet her, you talk to her and say, hey, is it like, hey, like, do you have somebody that does, your creative, artistry for your images or your artwork for stuff? So like I do have somebody, yeah, but I'm always open to stuff. Oh, okay. I do some of the stuff. I can offer you a free service, for this first next project that you have. I can offer you, I can show you some of my illustrations. I can do you videos. I can show you some of the stuff. Maybe you can work something out. She's gonna be like, absolutely. Let's, here's my information. Go, let's talk about it.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Stuff like that. And on any artist, it don't matter, on any artist or label or whoever you're trying to reach to, it happens. It works. It works.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta like put the idea out there,
Put the idea out there. And especially to getting your stuff out there, to get your name out there and get your music out there. Obviously we talked about it in the whole social media. I hate to use social media, but that is another aspect to use it. And
yeah, it's a huge tool.
I use fucking Instagram every day to search for new artists and DM them and get people over to my show. I like even big hitters, I mean, that's how I got, because of doing, DMing people, that's how I got Skybreak over to my show.
Oh, cool.
That's how I got, Dr. Ushu. And from Dr. Ushu, I got Mantic and Semi and Infinite and 10 Graphs, and Zeta now and Tremor. Like, I got all these dope producers and I love those guys. And we have an amazing conversation. And it's all because, you just network around and just DMing people. And you offer them the service. My service is like, yo, I'm giving you a free publicity. Come over.
Yeah, exactly.
And have a conversation with me. Just talk. That's it.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. And I'm exposing you even more and putting you out there more. So
yeah, you're giving them a platform to express themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. If you ever wonder, like, what is it that I gotta do? Just network around and offer some sort of a service that they can appreciate it. Because in the end, all that stuff will pay off.
Yeah, 100%. For sure.
Trust me on that. It will pay off.
For sure.
Is there any other questions that you want to ask about me or ask about the industry itself?
I'm just curious. Do you still produce now? And if so, like, what kind of music do you do?
So I still do produce, even though my level of production is on the hiatus level. Like I haven't done anything since last year. Luckily, I was able to do something with Infinite and Mantic. So our collab will be out there soon. I'm just waiting for
cool.
it. And not too long ago, I started working on my first EP.
Cool.
So I'm doing 2 EPs, to be honest. I'm doing one that's a very tear out dubstep, and then a second EP that's very melodic dubstep.
Oh, okay. So like different vibe.
Yeah, it's cool. So the idea of these EPs is like part 1 and part 2, or side, not part 1 or part 2, more like side A and side B.
Yeah. Okay.
So that the idea behind it is like, oh, this is who I was before, and this is where I am now, and what I'm heading
Okay.
to. So I was very
So it's like a progression.
yeah, it's a progression. So I was into the heavy metal shit. I love the punk rock stuff. I love, all that heavy tear out music, the bro step, like all that stuff. I love it. I love it. But it also signifies like a part of my life in which I was very, very heavy into pain, despair, and anger. There was like a lot of emotions that were happening. I was into a deep depression. I was not happy with my job. I was not happy with my career. I was not happy where I was living. And then a lot of stuff was happening at the same time in the industry for myself. It's like it just tells the story of what I had to endure and what I was going through.
Yeah.
To the side B, where I am right now, and where what I'm currently doing. I'm happy. I have a great job. I love doing my podcasting. I have a beautiful fiance. She is wonderful. And we're about to get married, and we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And and that side B, it signifies like the situation that I am. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling joyful. I'm feeling, pleasure. I have the whole wolf pack with me. Like I'm starting it.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a project that I've been working all summer long, and I just recently finished the first song of the first EP.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just
so
it's
cool.
the intro, and I love it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the second one. And the thing about me is that before I pressure myself to do music, now I don't have that because I don't have music as my primary, as I have as my secondary. My primary is the podcast.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't put like it's my secondary. It's like around the top 5 things, because I also have other stuff, other interests in my life that I do. But it's when I do really feel like, oh shit, I feel like I could do some naughty shit right now. Once I hit it, I was like, game over.
Yeah.
Like I finished the projects in less than a week, and that's it.
Yeah, you just like go boom, 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 get it done.
Yeah, and because I mix around as I'm creating it, is like it's almost at the like done stage. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I finished my first track. I already started working on the second one, and I already have an idea for the third and fourth. So it's like the second one is another tear out. First one's a tear out. It's an intro, but the second one is another tear out. And then the third track will be like a metal step vibe. And then
cool.
The fourth track will be a mid tempo. Because I fuck with the mid tempo a lot,
Yeah.
And that's when we transition to the next EP, that when it's like, all right, this is gonna be a melodic dubstep, this is gonna be a future rhythm, this is gonna be another chill step or whatever, and then the last song will be a nice happy drum and bass song.
Oh, cool. I like that. So you're incorporating different genres. That's awesome.
Within the bass genre, like I'm incorporating stuff that I love to listen.
Yeah, of course.
Love to listen, and I'm just putting it out there, say like, this is what I love. Let me show you what I love, what I'm all about.
Yeah, it's your personal expression.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm
that's
still doing. I haven't retired yet. I'll retire once I release a Monster Cat.
that's your main goal, Monster Cat?
Monster Cat is my main goal. If I ever release a label song, I mean, I'd love to release labels. Don't get me wrong, Disciple and DPMO and others, but Monster Cat is like the big dog. And once after that, I can happily say like I did it, man. I reached Monster Cat. That's nobody.
Yeah,
it's hard for anybody to reach Monster Cat. So once you reach Monster Cat, it's like
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, dope. But that's pretty much it. Any other questions you want to ask me?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, man,
thank you for being so open and sharing so much. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Absolutely. And let me tell you this, if there's any given time in which you ever feel like you want to ask me something, whether it's business related or whether it's industry related, or even when it's music related, like, hey, how do you do this, or I need some feedback for this song, what do you think, like, do not hesitate, just contact me. You're a text away from me, and just ask me and I'll be more than happy to respond.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to be hitting you up.
Absolutely. Now, before we leave and we wrap this up, there's one question I definitely want to ask you, because now that you're about to start off with this journey, and out of your experiences, what advice would you give to somebody when they want to start off, doing this journey as a artist?
I would say just get started. That, like, I don't know, that's something that I have an issue with a lot, is like kind of like procrastinating and like starting off a project. And I think like just taking the first step sometimes can be like the hardest thing. But once you do that, everything flows from there, And then also just have fun and go with what you feel and what's in your heart. And like, as long as you're enjoying it and your heart's in it, I think that's what's important.
Dope. I mean, I fully agree with what you're saying. Once you feel like this is exactly what I want, this is what I feel, everything else makes sense.
Exactly. It all falls into place.
Absolutely. Well, Lucid, thank you very much for coming to the show. And I'm looking
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're a friend of the show. You're more than welcome to come back. And I'm looking forward for your future projects. I'll be definitely keeping an eye on them.
I'm looking forward to yours too. I want to hear the 2 EPs. That sounds really cool. I like the concept.
Absolutely. I'll definitely send it over to you once I got already like the first concepts already done.
Oh yeah.
Before we leave, plug yourself out. Let the people know what they can follow you and what they can expect from you in the future.
Yeah, I'm Lucid Luna Music across all boards. So Instagram, I got a YouTube channel as well. And I have some shows coming up. I was supposed to play for Alchemy Cartel's Flow Fridays, but I got COVID a few weeks ago. That's why we had to delay our podcast too. I had a show booked too, so like that really sucked. But I'm definitely going to be getting booked for that again in the future, and I might be doing a stream for them as well coming up.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming over. And thank you guys for listening. And remember, every week is a brand new episode with a brand new topic. So always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Lone Wolv Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And of course, the video version at youtube.com/the Lone Wolv Podcast. That's right, guys. youtube.com/the Lone Wolv Podcast. So comment down below and let me hear your thoughts, share your experiences. If you guys got a specific topic that you want me or Lucid Luna to talk about, please let us know in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to talk about it on the next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. All right? Deuces.